Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're doing more than just looking at a list of food. We're about to take a deep dive into the heart of Taiwanese culture, one delicious bite at a time. We're going to taste the story of Taiwan itself. So let's get right into it. You know, pretty much everything we're about to talk about is tied together by this one incredible concept, gu zhao wei. Now, it literally translates to old-time taste, but it's so much more than that. It's that feeling you get from your grandmother's cooking, a flavor that takes you right back to your childhood. It really is the soul of Taiwanese food, and it's going to be our guide today. So, where do you even begin with a cuisine this rich? Well, you start at the foundation, right? The absolute essentials, the rice and noodle dishes that are just the bedrock of everyday life in Taiwan. All right, first up, we have what is arguably the undisputed king of Taiwanese comfort food. On the left, lu rou fan, with that rich, melt-in-your-mouth pork belly. And on the right, rou zhao fan, which usually uses minced pork. Now, they look really similar, but trust me, you can start a very passionate debate with any local about which one is better. It really comes down to those tiny differences in family recipes and a whole lot of regional pride.
And that love for rice, it definitely doesn't stop with the regular stuff. Let's talk sticky rice. Tongdai migao is amazing. It's steamed in a little bamboo tube and then popped out onto a plate, making this perfect little savory rice cake. Then you've got yofan, which is stir-fried, giving it a completely different chewy texture and fragrance. This one's a big deal at celebrations for sure.
Okay, let's switch gears to noodles. And we've got a couple of heavy hitters here. Danzai is a legendary dish from the city of Tainan. It's got this incredibly complex broth, and get this, the broth is famous because they say the pot is never fully emptied. They just keep adding to it. Talk about history in a bowl. And then there's mi taimu, these thick, short, super chewy noodles that are just so versatile. You can have them in a hot soup or served cold with a sauce on a hot day.
Okay, so we've got our staples down. Now let's dive into something that is just so quintessentially Taiwanese, this incredible focus on texture, or what people there call mouthfeel. It's just as important as the flavor.
So, have you ever been eating something like, I don't know, boba, and wondered, how do they get that perfect, chewy, bouncy texture? Well, there's a secret, and it's a special word for it. And here it is. The secret is one little letter, Q. Sometimes you'll hear it called QQ. It's not a flavor, it's a feeling. It's that perfect, bouncy, springy, satisfying chew. It comes from the Hokkien language, and it's become the absolute gold standard for texture in Taiwan. Seriously, if someone from Taiwan tells you a food is really Q, that's like the highest praise you can get.
And what's so cool about Q is how you can find it in so many different forms. Take rou yuan, for instance. It's this amazing, savory meat filling wrapped in this see-through, super chewy skin made from sweet potato starch. But then you've also got xian ma shu, which takes the soft, stretchy chewiness of mochi and wraps it around a savory filling. Two totally different wrappers, both aiming for that perfect Q texture.
And this is just a perfect example of culinary magic, right? You start with one simple thing, a basic rice slurry. If you steam it in a bowl with some meat and mushrooms on top, you get wangguo, a soft, savory rice pudding. But if you mix that slurry with shredded radish and steam it in a big block, you get lobogao, or radish cake, which you then slice up and pan fry. Same simple start, two completely different, delicious results.
And don't even get me started on the fried snacks because texture is everything there too. You have normie jia, these dense, chewy, sticky rice balls that are fried until they're insanely crispy on the outside and then rolled in peanut powder. And then there are di gua chu, sweet potato balls that do this incredible thing where they puff up and become hollow so you get this crispy shell with a delightfully chewy layer inside. Just genius.
All right, you ready? Let's crank up the energy a bit, because you can't talk about Taiwanese food without hitting the night markets. This is where the real superstars live, the flavors that the island is famous for. First on our list, the absolute legend, the oyster omelet. It's this incredible mix of textures all in one bite. You've got these plump, fresh oysters, soft scrambled egg, and some crispy greens, all held together with that signature chewy Q batter. And then, of course, there's that sweet and savory sauce they pour all over the top. It's an absolute must.
Now, okay, let's talk about the dish you can probably smell before you even see it, stinky tofu. But listen, don't let that powerful aroma scare you off. Whether it's fried to a golden crisp and served with tangy pickled cabbage or bubbling away in a spicy hot pot, the flavor is surprisingly savory and delicious. Trust me on this one, you just gotta be a little adventurous.
Next up, the food that gets called the Taiwanese hamburger, and for good reason.
Guabao is just a masterclass in flavor balance. You take a pillowy soft steamed bun, stuff it with fatty, rich braised pork, then cut through that richness with sour pickled greens, and top it all off with sweet, nutty peanut powder. It's sweet, it's salty, it's sour, it's fatty, it's just perfect.
And of course, we have to talk about the one that truly went global. I'm talking about bubble tea. This is the modern invention that really put Taiwanese food culture on the map all over the world. But there's a little secret connection here that you might not know.
But here's the twist, the part that connects it all back. While bubble tea itself feels totally modern, its heart and soul, those chewy tapioca pearls or fenyuan, are actually a super traditional, old-school dessert. They are pure guzawe. So yeah, this massive, modern, global drink, it's literally built on a piece of pure, old-school nostalgia.
Okay, so for our final stop, let's just slow things down a bit, get cozy, and talk about the comforting, soothing side of Taiwanese cuisine. We're talking about the broths and drinks that just warm you from the inside out.
And you can see two totally different kinds of comfort right here. On one hand, you have rogang, which is this thick, rich, savory soup with these tender little pieces of pork. It's like a big, warm hug in a bowl. And on the other hand, you have sishentong, a very light, delicate herbal soup that's all about nourishing your body. It's restorative and just makes you feel good.
It's not all about bubble tea when it comes to drinks. Taiwan has a really deep culture of traditional teas. There's Xingren cha, a hot, creamy, and super aromatic almond drink that's just what you want on a chilly day. And then there's Qingqiao cha, a dark, slightly bitter herbal tea that's served ice cold. It's what locals swear by to beat that intense summer heat.
And there we have it, 20 classic flavors that are basically your roadmap to the heart of Taiwan. We started with those essential rice and noodle bowls. We dove deep into that obsession with the Q texture. We hit the night markets for the superstars, and we wound down with some soothing soups and sips. Every single one of these dishes tells a little piece of the island's story.
We've really only just scratched the surface today, but I hope you have a little taste of what makes this food so incredibly special. So really, the only question left for you is, where are you going to start? Which one are you trying first?